Welcome back to AZ Trading, hope you're all doing well. In this video, I'll be doing a Q&A with some of the recent questions you guys have asked me in the comments. Depending on how long my answers turn out to be, I might have to do a separate video to get through these questions. So the first one comes from Arthur, thanks Arthur for watching, and they asked, how do you find the confidence to trade before the equity open, which is 9:30, since they're wary of an opening sweep to take out their stop loss? I actually really like this comment, and there are a couple main points that I'll touch on for this. So firstly, the most obvious one, it's the most boring one as well, is experience, and we all know with experience comes confidence. So keep backtesting your setups, especially keeping in mind those that form prior to the equity open, and journal all those that failed and all those that were a success. I'm sure after you journal and trade countless of those setups, you'll develop more confidence, but more importantly, you'll develop a better understanding of what's more likely to occur. Okay, so that was something that takes time to build confidence, but here are some things that you can do now that will instantly increase your confidence in a trade. This might sound too good to be true, but hear me out. So the second thing is the selectivity of your trades, meaning to take more optimistic trade entry positions or waiting for your favorite setups to form, which have the highest probabilities. I can use the trade from yesterday as an example, just this one over here. I've just zoomed in a bit, but if you saw my previous video, I was waiting for a deep retracement into this bottom gap before I placed my long entry, and as it reached this upper gap here, price showed a bullish reaction and I was prepared to let the trade go, since there have been many times in the past where I'm looking for a very steep or optimistic price, and price gets close to my entry but doesn't fill it and runs off. In this case I had my fill, but essentially the cost of having a very optimistic entry is that they're less likely to occur. However, if you did manage to get your entry at an optimistic price, then there's less of a drawdown period to go through. Compared to this entry, there's more of a drawdown period to go through. And with the better entry, you also have the mindset of getting a very good price. Even just thinking that to yourself will increase your trade confidence. Another way to increase your confidence prior to the equity open is to see what liquidity has been taken prior. So what I mean by this is, if you have a bullish trade, you want to look to the left and you want to see what liquidity was taken before your entry. So for this trade, if I had a bullish trade, I look to my left and I can see all these lows being raided, all the sell side being taken out, whilst at the same time they left the buy side. So all this buy side liquidity is untapped. So if you place that bullish trade prior to the equity open, knowing which liquidity has been taken prior can give you more confidence, since another deeper sell side liquidity raid is less likely to occur since it's already been tapped into prior to your entry. I don't think I explained that too clearly, so I'm just going to go through it again a bit differently. So over here I've just drawn a range where sell side and buy side have not been tapped into. So if we placed a bullish trade prior to the equity open, this would be a condition where price would be more likely to stab through your stop loss before running off. However, with this range, we can see that sell side was taken prior to the equity open, as well as leaving buy side untapped. This would be a scenario where we could feel more confident in our long trade, since price will be less likely to go for sell side again before it goes to buy side. Of course, I say less likely, nothing is ever for certain, but you can see why you'd be less likely to be stopped out in this scenario compared to the previous one. Jeez, I didn't realize there's actually so much to say for this question. I hope you've all found it informative so far, but I might have to leave the other questions for a future video. I'm sorry guys, next Q&A, I promise. Alright, let's move on. So the next thing you can do instantly that will increase your confidence is to reduce your position size and your overall risk exposure. This one's pretty obvious, since with smaller risk, naturally you're likely to be less mentally attached to your position. So for some of you guys struggling with some trade mentality and confidence, I implore you to do an experiment with yourself and just to keep lowering your position size until you reach the feeling that you're impartial, whether it reaches your stop or your profits. So another way you can reduce your risk is by moving your stop loss early. So for example, you placed a trade over here, you've got your stop loss and equity opens at this line. Prior to the equity open, an idea you can use would be to reduce your stop loss to an area that you're comfortable just prior to the 9:30 open, and that will increase your trade confidence. Not only that, you can also just take off a partial, and that will also reduce your risk exposure. So when your trade idea aligns with multiple correlating markets, so they're all saying the same reasons why your trade is more likely to happen than not, essentially find all the reasons that your trade is likely to happen rather than not likely to happen, and you can use that as a source for your trade confidence. And finally, I understand the fear you have of what if price gaps incredibly aggressively and doesn't tag your stop loss. making you risk more than you planned. I would say for high impact news events, I'd be more cautious, but for the equity open at 9:30, which happens every day, generally this time is saved for the markets to hunt liquidity and move with structure, not to instantly reprice. Also, if it helps with my personal experience, my stop loss has never once been disrespected to a rough degree, so I'd say the chances are very slim. But in the end, this is all up to your own risk tolerance, so find what you're comfortable with risk-wise and keep some of the things I mentioned in this video in mind that can help build your trade confidence. I guess I only managed to get through one question in this Q&A, but I hope you all found something in this video insightful. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, and please subscribe if you would like to see more content. It makes me very happy. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll definitely get back to you. If it's quite a common question or I feel it could be informative, I'll make a Q&A video on it. But until next time, take care guys. Peace.